Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Indie Comics Review. This is the show where every week I review 3 indie comic books. If that's the kind of content that you find interesting, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And there's a link down below to my Alternative City shop where I sell comic books that I make, buttons that I make, t-shirts that I make, and other cool stuff that you might want to check out, and every sale helps to support this channel. As sometimes is the case, this Indie Comics Review has a theme, and this theme is powerful women. So let's get started right away with the first book, which is Hitomi #1. It's written by H.S. Tak, and it's illustrated by Isabella Mazzanti, and it's on the Image Comics label. In feudal-era Japan, a drifter with no prospects begins training in secret under Yasuke, a once famous, disgraced warrior. As she struggles to find her place in a society entrenched in discrimination and violence, combining the historical sweep and elegance of Kurosawa with the visceral action of Tarantino, this saga follows the trials and tribulations of a young female warrior who travels the countryside unendingly as she works to gain the rank of samurai, a title no man, monster, or myth can give to her, but one that she will have to take for herself. The young woman in Hitomi is on a mission. She's on a mission to exact revenge on this samurai. The samurai who she describes to everyone who has skin as black as beetroot. And this samurai killed her family. And she wants to become a samurai herself so that she can exact this revenge on this individual. So she's on this journey. She meets, in the beginning of the book, this other kid who's kind of like a little vagabond himself. They run into these royals, these noble people. Hitomi is just a little firecracker. She's almost gets herself killed by the nobleman by being smart with him, being a wisecracker, that is. Eventually, her and the kid part ways, and she runs into some other folks who really don't mean her well, and then there's a confrontation with them. In the meantime, we get a window into what's happening with that samurai that she's seeking. That samurai, it seems, has kind of fallen on hard times himself. This samurai is now working. He's under either the employ or he's indentured to this person, and this samurai is like traveling the land and doing wrestling matches for money. And he's, I guess, he has to pay off this debt to this person that he's doing wrestling matches for. So eventually, you know that Hitomi's path and this samurai's path is going to cross. Hitomi is just such a beautifully drawn book. The story is very, it flows very nicely with the artwork. I don't know much about the creative team. This is my first time. This book was kind of on the fringe for me, and I saw it in the shop. I just had to pick it up. I love the character Hitomi. She's this spunky kid who does her own thing. She cannot be quieted down even under the threat of bodily harm. She will not remain quiet even in the face of certain death. So she's an endearing character. The artwork is beautifully like in a not watercolor kind of a style, but it's definitely a sumi brushstroke kind of a look to the line work, which is very attractive. Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. Hitomi #1 on Image. Definitely worth a look. Next book is Kaya #1, and it's written and drawn and colored by Wes Craig, and it's on the Image Comics label. After the destruction of their village, a young girl with a magic arm and a fighting spirit is tasked with delivering her little brother to a faraway safe haven. There, he's destined to discover the secret to overthrowing the all-powerful empire that destroyed their home. From writer and artist Wes Craig, Deadly Class, Gravediggers Union, comes an astonishing new ongoing fantasy adventure series about siblings surviving in a world of monsters and mutants. A jam-packed series premiere with 31 gorgeous story pages, plus bonus material and a Jack Kirby-inspired variant cover by Deadly Class co-creator Wes Craig. Kaya's on a journey to save her and her brother after their village has just been destroyed by this warlike tribe. Her brother is going to be, I guess he's like a little prince, and the future of their people lies with him. I mean, he's like the chosen one. He's got to arrive in this place so he can just become the savior of their people. They packed all the history of their tribe, of their people, on these scrolls, and the brother is carrying the scrolls in the bag, and that's the entire history of the entire people. They're all gone except for Kaya and her brother. And for some reason, Kaya wears a mask. I just realized that this is kind of cool, but I don't know whether why there's a need for her to wear a mask unless she has like a secret identity or something. But it works. Okay, so it's all good. Now, to get to their destination, they've got to cross this vast desert, and they're already starving. The kid is just like going on and on about how hungry he is. He's kind of a little shit. He's a little brat. He's like a spoiled kid. But he's the chosen one, so gotta love him. Gotta take care of him. So Kaya's got this kid in tow, crossing the desert. They figure they're gonna have to like bargain with whoever they run into, and they eventually run into these people called the Lizard Riders. And Kaya actually has some friends among the Lizard Riders. But initially they don't recognize who she is until her friend shows up, and they're gonna have to like negotiate and trade some of the things that they have to get food, because things are tight. So the kid is gonna have to probably trade his scrolls for food or something of value, either Kaya's knife or his scrolls or something like that. And it's not looking good for them, because there is no mercy out here in the desert. One of the things I love about this book is the borderless panels that Wes Craig decided to use in this book. So he doesn't use any borders on his panels. He doesn't use any borders on his word balloons. It gives a kind of a very, I don't know, like a children's book kind of a look to his artwork. The color palette is beautiful. It's a heavily orange, yellowish kind of a color palette, with the brightness of the colors, just kind of like making the borderless panels just look even more, I guess, maybe childlike, and just more sunny and bright in the illustration. And he talks in the back of in the back matter about how he had to finish Deadly Class before he could start this book, because this has been a labor of love of his for a long time. So this is a big deal that he's finally able to start Kaya, and Kaya's going to be an ongoing series, it seems. So the best of luck to him. I hope it's successful, because I would be back reading this book for sure. I have to find out the kid who the kid becomes, if what happens after they meet the lizard people. There's kind of a thing, like a romance budding between Kaya and her friend on the Lizard Riders. So there's something there. And then there's also this bad guy who's among the Lizard Riders, who just is just being a total monster to Kaya and her brother as well. So yeah, I would love to see more of Kaya, and good on Wes Craig for making this book. It looks like it could be an all ages book that everyone can enjoy. Kaya #1 is a good thing. The last book is Sweetie, Candy Vigilante #1. And it is written by Suzanne Cafiro, and it is illustrated by Jeff Zornow, and it is on the Dynamite Comics label. It's sugar, ice, and you better be nice. Sweetie Candy Vigilante is a honey-dipped, dark humor-infused horror fantasy that tells us the tale of Sweetie, an ethereal, beautiful, charming, well-meaning, yet unquestionably unhinged blood relative of the mythological Candyman. You know, the dude that takes the sunrise and sprinkles it with dew? Yeah, that guy. Dismayed by the blight and decay of her community, Sweetie is hell-bent on enacting a blood-caked, sugar-coated manifesto on society by utilizing her otherworldly powers and proprietarily family secrets in her quest to make the world a sweeter place. She's starting brick by brick in her hometown, New York City. In issue number 1, on a snowy, icy night, Sweetie pays a visit to a New York City landmark sweet shop known as the Ice Cream Bunny, hoping to find its namesake at the helm. To her dismay, she finds the shop transformed from its once sugary splendor into a salty den of iniquity. The once beloved store is now a front for a notorious crime syndicate, and they are not very nice at all. Sweetie uses her captivating persona and unassuming confectionery weapons to tear the place and its gang of thugs limb from limb as the first step to restoring its former glory. All the while enjoying a dynamic punk rendition of the Archie's pop classic Sugar Sugar on the jukebox as heads roll, literally. Okay, so a lot to unpack there. Sweetie Candy Vigilante, number 1, from Dynamite. Usually not my kind of book, to be quite honest, but there's good in all genre, I like to always say. And there's some good in this book, actually. I like this book. The plot itself, basically, okay, she's a relative of the Candyman. I was thinking like Candyman, you know, that thing from that movie, but I guess it's like the Sammy Davis Jr. Candyman with, okay, whatever. But hey, maybe it's the same Candyman, I'm just not aware of it. But anyway, basically the plot is she stumbles into this bar, or maybe this is the destination bar for her. She didn't stumble into it. She was heading to this bar because she's heard of this bar, the Ice Cream Bunny. She's heading toward the Ice Cream Bunny because she's heard about it. It's this wonderful place, apparently, and that's basically your plot. She comes to the Ice Cream Bunny, thinking it's a sweet shop, thinking it's full of wonderful sweet things, and she gets there, and it is just these bunch of scumbags hanging around. It's basically a strip club now, kind of, sort of. Strip club / bar. So she sees that this is not at all what she expected it would be, and the guys start to just get rude with her, and she just pulls out her candy, which her candy is actually some stuff that melts flesh, and she commences to just annihilate these guys, and they're just like pretty much cannon fodder for her. I'm not really sure if Candy's a vampire because she bares her fangs at some point, but she never bites anyone. So I don't know, they just like think she looks cute with fangs. I don't know. I'm just rolling with it. It's this whole thing where you think that because the thing about what I like most about the book is the artwork is great. The interior art, Jeff Zornow's interior artwork is great. One of my favorite cover artists, Josh Howard, does a couple of covers for them as well, and he also doubles as a letterer on this book. So you gotta be able to be multi-talented, multifaceted, and you gotta have a lot of junk in your trunk to make it in this business. So you gotta letter sometimes, you do the variant cover sometimes, you do what you gotta do. So the book looks really great, and actually it's kind of I guess a departure in a ways from some of the books that Dynamite does, because they do pretty much their properties that they own or that they license. But this is I see them doing more original characters now, which I think is a good direction to go in. Because licensing is expensive. I mean, off the top of the bat, sure, it brings in an audience that's already established, but you want to establish your own characters so you can reap the benefits of these characters becoming famous. And I think Sweetie Candy Vigilante is a way to go. The Ninjets, and there's some other titles that they're bringing on now with Dynamite to, I guess, establish themselves as not just a place where licenses go, and just of course the whole TNA thing is just their brand, but it's also a place where they will have their own characters. So Sweetie is just pretty much the antithesis of Kaya, the previous book I just reviewed. Kaya's got the nice lightly colored, borderless, all ages look to its book, and Sweetie Candy Vigilante is like a completely like a black, almost a black background to their all their panels and their frames are framed in black, and the artwork pops off those pages just as nicely as Kaya's more sunshiny artwork pops off of their pages. So, like I said, good in all genres. This might not be for some people. In fact, I'm sure it's not for some people. It's not a award-winning story or anything, but it was fun to read, and I enjoyed the artwork. And you just know that she's coming in there just to f up all these thugs who deserve to be effed up, and that's the joy we get from reading about Sweetie Candy Vigilante. I mean, it's what you tune in for. Was I entertained? Yes. This where I tuned in? This what I expected? Yes. Okay, then I guess you could say it delivered. So from that aspect, Sweetie Candy Vigilante #1 delivers on its promise, and it's a quality book for the audience that it's intended for. So I have to give that a passing grade. Like I said, not not going to be an Eisner Award winner, I doubt, but it could be a popular character, and it could be another addition, a good addition to Dynamite's stable of characters. So that being said, that's it for this Indie Comics review. Great week for comics, as it always is. I had to eliminate a few things that I wanted to review. I picked these 3 because I wanted to do a strong ladies show. So that worked out well. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be doing another review next week, maybe with another theme, maybe not. I don't know. I kind of like this whole theme thing. But if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like below, to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and to turn notifications on so you know when I'm making my next video. So until next week, I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.